The vast emptiness of space had always made humanity feel small, insignificant against the cosmic backdrop of stars and nebulae. That was until we discovered we weren't alone. The first contact came not with peace offerings or diplomatic gestures, but with a stark warning delivered from Earth to the stars above. I remember standing in Times Square that fateful evening, surrounded by thousands of others, all eyes fixed on the massive screens overhead. The normally bustling city fell into an eerie silence as humanity prepared to broadcast its first unified message to the alien civilizations we detected. But this wasn't a message of peace, it was a declaration of intent. For centuries, we gazed at the stars and wondered if we were alone. When our deep space telescopes finally picked up signs of advanced civilizations, we discovered something troubling. These aliens weren't the benevolent beings we'd hoped for in our science fiction stories. They were expansionist empires, consuming resources across countless solar systems, leaving devastated worlds in their wake. Our scientific community had tracked their movements, analyzed their patterns, and reached a chilling conclusion. Earth was next in their path. But humanity had learned from its own history. We wouldn't wait to be colonized. We wouldn't stand idle while these cosmic raiders drew closer to our solar system. The message we sent that day was simple yet powerful. We see you. We know what you've done to other worlds. And we want you to know. We are coming for you. The words echoed through every speaker, translated into every human language, and broadcast into space using our most powerful transmitters. Some called it foolish bravado. Others said we were inviting our own destruction, but they didn't understand what the intelligence community had uncovered. While these alien civilizations had advanced technology, they'd grown complacent. They'd never faced real resistance, never encountered a species that fought back before it was too late. Earth's governments united under a single banner for the first time in human history. Resources that once fueled our conflicts were redirected toward space exploration and defense. Every scientific breakthrough, every technological innovation was shared globally. We had one goal: to protect our home and show these cosmic invaders that humanity wouldn't be an easy target. The video feeds from our deep space probes showed their reaction to our message. Their massive ships, once moving steadily toward our solar system, had paused. We caught them off guard. For the first time in their history of conquest, prey had turned predator. As I stand here today, looking at the massive starships being constructed in orbit around Earth, I can't help but feel pride in what humanity has accomplished. In just a few years, we've advanced our technology beyond what we thought possible. Our unity in the face of this threat has shown the true strength of the human spirit. But the real test lies ahead. Our first fleet is almost ready to launch, carrying the best and brightest Earth has to offer. We're not waiting for them to come to us. We're taking the fight to them. This isn't just about survival anymore. It's about showing the galaxy that humanity won't bow down to any threat, no matter how distant or advanced it may be. The countdown has begun. Soon, we'll make good on our warning. The aliens thought they were the hunters in this cosmic game. They're about to learn that they've awakened something far more determined, far more resilient than anything they've encountered before. They're about to learn why humanity has survived every challenge it's ever faced. We are coming for them, and we're bringing with us everything that makes us human: our courage, our innovation, our unbreakable will to survive. The stars are waiting, and humanity is ready to claim its place among them. The atmosphere aboard the flagship Terran Hope was electric with anticipation as we prepared for humanity's first major push into deep space. The massive vessel, stretching nearly 2 kilometers in length, represented the pinnacle of human engineering and determination. Through the observation deck's reinforced windows, Earth grew smaller by the minute, a brilliant blue marble against the vast darkness of space. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the helm, her weathered face reflecting years of military service and the weight of humanity's future resting on her shoulders. She'd been chosen to lead this mission not just for her tactical brilliance, but for her understanding of what we were fighting for. The crew of 5,000 represented every corner of Earth, united in their mission to protect our home. "Final systems check complete," announced Lieutenant David Thompson, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. "All decks report ready for deep space engagement." The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, each movement precise and purposeful. They'd trained for this moment for 3 years, but nothing could truly prepare them for what lay ahead. The ship's advanced AI system, integrated with quantum computers, continuously processed the massive amounts of data streaming in from our deep space probes. We learned from studying the alien transmissions that they communicated across vast distances using quantum entanglement, a technology we'd only recently begun to understand. Our scientists had worked tirelessly to develop countermeasures, ways to intercept and decode their communications. "Commander," called out Officer James Rodriguez from his station, "we're picking up unusual energy signatures from the Kuiper Belt." His voice remained steady, but there was an undercurrent of tension. The holographic display zoomed in on the region, showing ripples in space-time that shouldn't exist naturally. Sarah's eyes narrowed as she studied the readings. "They're testing us," she said quietly, "trying to gauge our technological capabilities." She opened a channel to the engine room. "Dr. Kumar, are the quantum shields ready?" "Yes, Commander," came the reply from our chief engineer. "The new electromagnetic deflectors should hold against anything short of a direct antimatter blast. But remember, they're untested in actual combat conditions." The fleet of 50 ships spread out behind us, each carrying specialized equipment and personnel. Some were dedicated to research and analysis, others to defense and combat. The Terran Hope led the formation, its advanced sensors probing the darkness ahead for any sign of hostile activity. As we passed Mars' orbit, our long-range scanners detected the first concrete evidence of alien technology, a network of dormant monitoring stations scattered throughout the asteroid belt. They were practically invisible to conventional sensors, but our quantum detection systems, developed from reversed-engineered alien tech found on Pluto's moon Charon, could spot their unique energy signatures. "They've been watching us longer than we thought," muttered Dr. Elizabeth Carter, our chief xenobiologist. She'd spent the last 5 years studying the fragments of alien technology we discovered, piecing together their biology and technology. These stations looked decades old, possibly centuries. The revelation sent a chill through the bridge. How long had they been studying us, analyzing our weaknesses, preparing for their eventual invasion? The thought made our mission even more crucial. We weren't just fighting for our present, but for our entire history of independence. 6 months into our journey, we made our first significant discovery. Hidden in the shadows of Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede, we found what appeared to be an abandoned alien outpost. The structure was massive, carved into the moon's icy surface with technology far beyond our current capabilities. A team led by Captain Michael O'Neill was dispatched to investigate. Their approach to the structure was cautious, every movement monitored by the fleet's advanced sensor systems. The team's helmet cameras transmitted everything back to the Terran Hope, where specialists analyzed every detail. "The architecture is unlike anything we've seen in their other structures," reported Dr. Carter, examining the live feed. "The energy signatures are different too. This might not belong to the same species we've been tracking." The revelation opened up new possibilities and new concerns. If there were other advanced civilizations out there, where did they stand in this conflict? Were they victims of the same expansionist empire we were preparing to confront, or were they perhaps allies of our enemies? Inside the outpost, the team discovered what appeared to be a vast database. The alien technology was still operational, powered by what our engineers identified as a zero-point energy module, technology we'd only theorized about. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, our lead computer scientist, began the delicate process of interfacing with the alien systems. "Commander," her voice cracked with excitement over the comm, "you need to see this. The database, it's not just scientific data. It's a warning." The holographic displays on the bridge came alive with streams of alien text being rapidly translated by our AI systems. The message was clear. We weren't the first civilization to stand up to the approaching empire. Others had tried, and their histories were recorded here, hidden away as a testament to their resistance. Some had succeeded in driving back the initial invasions, only to fall to more overwhelming forces later. Others had been wiped out entirely, their cultures and technologies absorbed into the empire's ever-growing collective. But there was something else in the data, something that made Commander Chen's eyes light up with hope. Scattered throughout the galaxy were other resistance movements, other civilizations fighting back against the Empire's expansion. We weren't alone in this fight. The discovery changed everything. Our mission wasn't just about defending Earth anymore. It was about making contact with these other resistances, forming alliances, sharing technologies and strategies. The alien empire had grown powerful by keeping its victims isolated, preventing them from uniting against a common threat. As we processed this new information, our long-range sensors detected something massive moving through the outer solar system. The Empire's advanced scouts had arrived, earlier than we'd anticipated, but thanks to the outpost's data, we knew more about their capabilities and weaknesses than they realized. Commander Chen called a meeting of all ship captains, their holographic forms appearing in the Terran Hope's Strategic Command Center. The enemy thinks they're hunting us, she addressed the assembled leaders, but we have something they've never encountered before, the combined knowledge of their previous victims and the element of surprise. The fleet began to move into defensive positions, implementing strategies we learned from the database. Our ship's quantum shields were modulated to frequencies that had proven effective against Imperial weapons in previous encounters. We were about to show them that humanity had learned from the mistakes of others. But as we prepared for our first real engagement with the enemy, we discovered something in the database that changed our understanding of the conflict entirely. Hidden among the technical data and battle reports was information about the Empire's true nature and the real reason they feared our warning message so much. The revelation from the ancient database shook our understanding of the conflict to its core. The Empire wasn't just a conquering force. They were running from something. Something that had driven them to consume world after world, building their strength not for conquest, but for survival. And now, they feared that humanity's defiance would draw this ancient threat's attention to this part of the galaxy. Commander Chen stood before the holographic display showing the approaching Imperial scout ships. If we broadcast their location, she said, her voice steady despite the weight of the decision, we'll be signing their death warrant. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. The Empire's greatest weakness wasn't their technology or their strategy. It was their fear of being found. The fleet's quantum sensors detected energy buildups in the Imperial vessels. They were preparing to fire, not at our ships, but at Jupiter's moon and the ancient outpost. They wanted to destroy the evidence, to keep their secret hidden. Captain O'Neill's team was still inside, racing to download the last crucial pieces of data. Time to evacuation, Chen demanded, her fingers tightening on the command rail. Lieutenant Thompson's response was grim. 4 minutes minimum. Their weapons will reach the outpost in 3. The choice was impossible. Risk the lives of our team to preserve information that could change the course of the war, or retreat and lose perhaps our only advantage. But humanity hadn't come this far to back down. Launch the quantum decoys, Chen ordered. The Terran Hope released dozens of small drones, each projecting an exact quantum signature copy of the outpost. The Imperial ships hesitated, their targeting systems confused by the sudden multiplication of their objective. Those precious seconds were all we needed. The evacuation team burst from the outpost's entrance, their shuttle accelerating hard toward our fleet. Behind them, the Imperial weapons finally fired, reducing the outpost and its decoys to atoms. But the data and our people were safe. As our ships regrouped, Dr. Tanaka's team worked frantically to process the downloaded information. The holographic displays filled with images that told a story spanning millions of years. The Empire wasn't the first to flee across the galaxy. Other civilizations had done the same, each running from something they called the Void. The images showed worlds being consumed not by conquest, but by a spreading darkness that devoured light, energy, and life itself. The Empire's expansion wasn't random. They were trying to establish a buffer zone, using conquered worlds as early warning systems against this cosmic horror. They're not going to stop coming, Dr. Carter observed, studying the data. Each world they take strengthens their defensive line. Earth is just another potential shield to them. But there was something else in the data, something that made humanity unique among all the civilizations the Empire had encountered. Our quantum research, developed independently, had taken a different path than any other species. While others had focused on communication and energy generation, we had explored its defensive applications. The quantum shields protecting our ships weren't just barriers. They were exactly the type of technology needed to contain the void. As this realization spread through the fleet, the Imperial ships began to change formation. Their attack pattern shifted into something we'd never seen in their tactical databases. They weren't preparing to destroy us. They were preparing to capture our ships intact. Commander Chen's voice cut through the tension on the bridge. All ships, battle formation Delta. They want our technology. Let's show them exactly what humanity can do with it. The fleet moved with precision, forming a complex three-dimensional pattern that maximized our shield's coverage. The space between our fleets lit up with weapons fire. Imperial energy beams splashed against our quantum shields while our ships returned fire with specially modified weapons designed to penetrate their defenses. But this wasn't the real battle. We were testing each other, probing for weaknesses. Through the chaos of the firefight, Dr. Tanaka made another breakthrough. Commander, the outpost data. It's not just historical records. It's a key to something bigger. Her hands flew over the holographic controls, combining different pieces of information. All these outposts, they form a pattern across the galaxy. They're not just warning posts. They're parts of a weapon. The Imperial ships suddenly ceased fire. A transmission cut through our communication channels, broadcasting on all frequencies. The translator eyes struggled to keep up as alien symbols flooded our screens. They weren't threats or demands for surrender. They were equations, scientific formulas, and what looked like design schematics. They're sharing their research. Dr. Kumar breathed in amazement. Everything they know about the void. The Empire had realized that humanity's unique approach to quantum physics might be the key they'd been searching for. But there was a catch. A massive energy surge was detected at the edge of our solar system. The void had followed the Empire to our doorstep. Our long-range sensors showed it consuming Pluto, the dwarf planet vanishing into absolute darkness. The Empire's message became clear. We could fight each other and all perish, or work together against the true threat. Commander Chen opened a channel to the Imperial fleet. Our response would determine not just humanity's fate, but perhaps the survival of all life in this part of the galaxy. As she prepared to speak, every screen on every ship in both fleets displayed the same warning. The void had begun accelerating toward the inner solar system. The time for preparation was over. The real war, the one that had been coming for millions of years, was about to begin, and humanity, the Empire, and all their combined technology had less than 72 hours to prepare for humanity's greatest test. Earth grew smaller behind us as both fleets began to move in unison. The coming battle would determine whether our world would become just another consumed by eternal darkness, or if we would be the civilization that finally found a way to stop the void. Commander Chen's voice carried across all channels as she gave the order that would begin the most important mission in human history. The combined human and Imperial fleets moved in perfect synchronization, a sight that would have been unimaginable just hours before. But as our ships took up defensive positions around Neptune's orbit, preparing to face the void, Officer Rodriguez detected something that made his blood run cold. Commander, I'm picking up quantum signatures. They're identical to the ones in the ancient outpost. Dr. Carter rushed to his station, her eyes widening at the data. It's not just similar. It's exactly the same. The realization hit like a thunderbolt. The outpost we found wasn't just a warning post. It was part of an ancient defense system. And now, after millions of years, it was reactivating. Across the solar system, hidden structures began emerging from gas giants and their moons. What we thought were natural formations turned out to be camouflaged installations, far more advanced than anything humanity or the Empire had created. The entire solar system was a fortress, built by those who'd faced the void before us. Commander Chen and the Imperial Fleet Commander, whose name translated roughly to Star Weaver, quickly coordinated their response. The Imperial ships carried records of other solar systems where similar installations had been discovered, but none had ever been found intact, let alone functional. As the void approached, consuming the space between Pluto and Neptune at an alarming rate, Dr. Tanaka made a startling discovery in the outpost's data. These installations, she reported, her voice trembling with excitement, they're not just defensive weapons. They're components of a quantum cage, designed to trap and study the void. But there was a catch. The system required an enormous amount of energy to activate, more than our combined fleets could generate. That's when Star Weavers shared a crucial piece of information. The Empire's ships weren't powered by conventional means. Each vessel carried a piece of captured void energy, safely contained in quantum storage. The plan that formed was audacious and terrifying. We would use our quantum shields to channel the void energy from the Imperial ships into the ancient installation network. But one critical component was missing: a control system advanced enough to coordinate the entire network. That's where humanity's unique quantum research came in. The Terran Hope would need to become the heart of the operation, its quantum computers interfacing with both the ancient technology and the Imperial ships. The risk was astronomical. One miscalculation could unleash all the contained void energy at once, potentially consuming the entire solar system. As preparations began, our sensors detected something even more disturbing. The void wasn't just consuming matter and energy. It was learning, adapting. Each planet, moon, or asteroid it devoured made it stronger, more intelligent. The darkness approaching us had evolved far beyond what the ancient defenders had faced. It's almost like it remembers, Dr. Carter observed, studying the sensor data. Like it knows this trap was meant for it. The implications were staggering. We weren't just fighting a force of nature. We were facing something with intelligence, purpose, and possibly a very long memory. Time was running out. The void would reach Neptune within hours. Commander Chen made a decision that would either save humanity or doom us all. "Begin the power transfer," she ordered. "All ships, maintain quantum shield integrity at all costs." The space around our combined fleet lit up with energy as void power began flowing from the Imperial ships through our quantum shields. The ancient installations hummed to life, creating a web of energy that stretched across the solar system. But as the network activated, we detected something that no one had anticipated. The void split into multiple tendrils of darkness, each moving with purpose and precision. It wasn't just adapting. It was executing a strategy. This wasn't its first encounter with such a trap, and it had learned from its past failures. Officer Rodriguez's voice cut through the tension. Multiple quantum signatures detected within the void. The darkness wasn't just consuming, it was carrying something. As we watched in horror, shapes began emerging from the blackness. Ships, but not like anything we'd seen before. They were remnants of civilizations the void had consumed, now twisted and corrupted into weapons. The Imperial fleet reacted with panic. Star Weaver's voice trembled as they transmitted an explanation. These ships weren't just defeated enemies. They were civilizations that had tried to trap the void before, now forced to serve it. Each attempt to contain the darkness had only made it stronger, smarter, and more resourceful. Commander Chen's response was immediate. "Adjust the quantum frequencies. We can't let it anticipate our defense pattern." The Terran Hope's computers worked at maximum capacity, constantly changing the shield harmonics. But with each adjustment, the void's attacks became more precise, more targeted. Then Dr. Tanaka noticed something in the data stream that changed everything. The ancient installations weren't just creating a cage. They were designed to establish communication. The civilizations that built them hadn't just wanted to trap the void. They wanted to understand it. As the battle raged around us, a new possibility emerged. What if the void wasn't just a mindless force of destruction? What if its consumption of worlds wasn't just about survival or conquest, but about something else entirely? The answer lay in the quantum frequencies we were using to power the ancient network. Through the chaos of battle, through the terror of watching corrupted ships emerge from darkness, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet. We had hours, maybe minutes, to solve a mystery millions of years in the making. And as the void's tendrils reached toward our fleet, we realized that the choice between fight or flight was no longer enough. We needed a third option, one that neither the Empire nor the ancient defenders had considered. But first, we had to survive long enough to implement it. Commander Chen opened a channel to all ships, human and Imperial alike. Her next words would determine whether we followed the path of those who had failed before us, or if humanity would find another way. Commander Chen's voice carried across all channels, steady and determined. We've been looking at this all wrong. Every civilization before us tried to contain or destroy the void. But what we're seeing in these quantum frequencies isn't just destruction, it's communication. The void isn't consuming worlds, it's trying to understand them. Dr. Tanaka's fingers flew across her console, recalibrating the quantum network. The ancient installations weren't failing, she explained, her voice rising with excitement. They were recording data. Every encounter, every civilization, it's all stored in the quantum frequency patterns. The corrupted ships pressed their attack, but now we could see something new in their movements. They weren't just weapons, they were carrying information. Each vessel was a library of its civilization's knowledge, preserved in the only way the void knew how. All ships, adjust quantum shields to frequency pattern Alpha 7, Commander Chen ordered. Don't try to block the void. Let it touch our shields. The order seemed suicidal, but as our fleet complied, something extraordinary happened. Where the void met our quantum shields, images began to form. We saw worlds we'd never imagined, civilizations that had risen and fallen millions of years ago. The void wasn't destroying these worlds. It was preserving them, keeping their essence alive in the only way it could comprehend. But its method of preservation was destroying the very thing it sought to understand. Starweaver's ship transmitted data showing how their empire had misinterpreted the void's nature. They'd spent millennia running from what they thought was death incarnate, when in reality, they were fleeing from an entity desperately trying to connect. The Terran Hope's quantum computers processed this revelation, combining human intuition with Imperial knowledge and the ancient installation's data. A plan formed, not to trap or destroy the void, but to give it what it had always wanted, a way to truly understand. Divert all power to the quantum communication array, Commander Chen ordered. Our ships began transmitting not just data, but experiences. The joy of sunrise over Earth, the wonder of first contact, the unity that had brought humanity to the stars. The void's advance slowed, its tendrils weaving patterns that matched our transmission frequencies. But victory wasn't that simple. As the void processed our transmissions, the corrupted ships launched their final assault. These fallen civilizations, trapped between existence and oblivion, couldn't bear to watch another species succeed where they had failed. The battle that followed was unlike anything in human history. Our ships danced through space, maintaining the quantum connection with the void while defending against weapons born from a dozen dead civilizations. The Imperial fleet moved with us, centuries of tactical experience combining with human determination. Then Dr. Carter made a breakthrough that changed everything. The corrupted ships, they're not attacking us, she announced. They're trying to join the connection. They want to be remembered as they were, not as what the void made them. Commander Chen took the biggest gamble in human history. Open all channels, she ordered. Let them transmit through us. The quantum network expanded, incorporating the corrupted ship's frequencies. Through our shields, through the ancient installations, the lost civilizations began to share their true stories. The void's response was immediate and overwhelming. The darkness that had consumed worlds began to shift, to change. Where there had been an all-consuming blackness, patterns of light began to emerge. The corrupted ships, no longer bound by the void's influence, began to dissolve into pure energy. But this transformation came with a price. The quantum network was overloading, struggling to contain the massive energy exchange. The ancient installations began to fail, one by one, their million-year vigil finally ending. We can't maintain the connection, Dr. Tanaka warned. The network is collapsing. The choice before us was clear. Break the connection and survive, or maintain it and risk everything to complete the void's transformation. In that moment, humanity proved why we had survived every challenge we'd ever faced. The Terran Hope moved forward, directly into the void's swirling mass of energy. All power to quantum transmitters, Commander Chen ordered. We're not losing this connection. The Imperial fleet, understanding our sacrifice, formed a protective barrier around our ship. Star Weaver's final transmission was simple: "Your courage will be remembered." What happened next defied explanation. The void's energy merged with our quantum field, creating something entirely new. Through our connection, we felt the presence of every civilization it had consumed, now finally understood and preserved as they truly were. The corrupted ships dissolved completely, their essence returning to its original form. As the quantum network collapsed around us, the void made its final transformation. Instead of darkness, it became a bridge, a living quantum network connecting all points in space where its energy had touched. The civilizations it had consumed were no longer trapped but preserved in a way that allowed them to be truly known and remembered. The Terran Hope emerged from the energy field forever changed. Our quantum systems now carried a piece of that connection, a key to understanding not just the void, but all the knowledge it had gathered across millions of years. Commander Chen's final log entry summed up humanity's greatest adventure. We came to the stars ready for war, but found something far more valuable: understanding. The void wasn't our enemy. It was the universe's attempt to ensure that no civilization's story would ever truly be lost. And now, thanks to human determination and courage, those stories will be told the way they were meant to be, not through consumption, but through connection. As our fleet turned toward Earth, the Imperial ships accompanying us not as conquerors or allies, but as partners in the greatest discovery in history, we knew that our warning message had been wrong. We weren't coming for them. We were coming for understanding, and in finding it, humanity had not just saved itself. We had transformed the very nature of existence in our galaxy. The stars above Earth would never look quite the same again, knowing that each point of light now carried the stories of a million civilizations waiting to be understood. Earth's night sky had changed forever. Where once we saw only distant stars, we now witnessed the subtle quantum shimmer of countless civilization stories, preserved and shared through the network the void had become. Cities across our planet designed new observatories, not to watch for threats from above, but to learn from the vast library of knowledge now accessible to us. The Terran Hope had returned to a hero's welcome, though Commander Chen insisted that the real victory belonged to every species that had helped us understand the truth. The Imperial fleet, once our feared enemy, now worked alongside human scientists to develop new ways of accessing and interpreting the quantum network's vast repository of information. Starweaver's people gradually transformed from an empire of conquest into guardians of knowledge. Their ships, once carriers of void energy, became conduits for sharing stories across the galaxy. The fear that had driven them for millennia had been replaced by a sense of purpose, helping other civilizations access and contribute to the greatest collection of knowledge ever assembled. Dr. Tanaka and her team made breakthrough after breakthrough as they studied the quantum frequencies we brought back. Every civilization that the void encountered, she explained during a global broadcast, approached the universe in uniquely beautiful ways. Their art, their science, their dreams, it's all preserved, waiting to be discovered. The ancient installations, though no longer needed as a defense system, became monuments to the power of understanding. Teams of human and imperial archaeologists worked together to study these structures, learning from the civilizations that had come before us and had tried, in their own ways, to comprehend the void. Perhaps the most profound change came in how we viewed our place in the universe. Humanity had ventured into space ready for war, only to discover that the greatest power lay not in our weapons or shields, but in our ability to bridge gaps of understanding. The quantum network we'd helped create didn't just preserve knowledge. It connected living civilizations across vast distances, fostering collaboration and growth on an unprecedented scale. Commander Chen retired from active service, but continued to work as an ambassador between Earth and the growing network of connected worlds. Her final address to the United Earth Council summed up the transformation we'd undergone. We thought we were going to war against the darkness between the stars. Instead, we found a way to light up the galaxy with understanding. Our greatest enemy became our greatest teacher, showing us that every story deserves to be heard, every civilization deserves to be remembered. As I stand here now, watching the quantum shimmer in the night sky from my apartment window, I can't help but smile at how far we've come. The warning message we sent into space seems like a lifetime ago. We did come for them, but not as conquerors or defenders. We came as students, teachers, and storytellers, each adding our own chapter to the greatest story ever told. Humanity's first steps into the galactic community weren't marked by conquest or submission, but by transformation. We didn't just change the void, we changed ourselves. And somewhere out there, in the quantum network that spans the stars, our story is being shared with new civilizations, teaching them what we learned, that understanding is the greatest power in the universe, and every voice deserves to be heard. The stars above still hold countless mysteries, but we no longer face them alone or in fear. We face them with wonder, with courage, and with the combined wisdom of a million worlds lighting our way forward. The human spirit that once prepared for war now reaches out in peace, ready to add new chapters to the endless story of life among the stars.